Hogsmeade, here I come. A little more. Rebellion.
We should speak with Mr. Bickle's friends. I believe I can sneak away without drawing my mother's eye. Meet me near Hogsmeade, and we will devise a plan.
Have you not?
Pardon me, sir. But about those curious demiguise statues I've seen.
What? Who are you? Why do you ask?
They're causing Mr. Moon terrible distress.
Ha! Good. That was the idea.
So you did create them?
Yes, I did. It was a ploy to give that pathetic oaf Moon a taste of the grief he caused me years ago. You are the one who's been pilfering them.
I am, at the request of Mr. Moon. I received your owl on your stationery.
Ah, well, fitting Moon would enlist a student. Too cowardly to do it himself. Hasn't changed a bit. Even when we were at school, he was a cowardly bully. Gave me a horrible nickname, which I shan't repeat. I was thrilled when we left school and he seemed gone for good. Then I started seeing him around Hogsmeade. It was too much. Even if I do take satisfaction in that his life's destiny was to be a lowly caretaker.
Mr. Moon does a good deal for the school, and he's taught me a lot. He's terrified of those statues.
I know. You should have seen his face when that boggart appeared. Oh, priceless. That's when I knew what I needed to do. I simply didn't want to encounter him anymore. So, I shrewdly put a boggart in his path to learn his greatest fear. I then created the demiguise statues to keep him in his place, so to speak. The moons were an inspired play on his name. It worked brilliantly. Until you started clearing them out.
The statues are a form of bullying. You're no better than him. Perhaps it's time you both moved on.
Fair point, I suppose. If they've terrified him, as you say, he may have learned his lesson.
Revelio.
I'll fix him, that charm grinder.
Sir, is everything all right?
How kind of you to ask. The name's Ackley Barnes. And no, it is not. I'm plotting a sort of revenge against my ex-business partner, a conniving fiend by the name of Alfred Lawley. He cut me out of our herbology supply business just as we were getting started. Said I was too volatile to work with. I'll show him volatile.
That must have been frustrating for you.
Yes, it was. Terribly. I'm simply passionate about my work. Supercilious fool. He's passionate about things too, as I intend to remind him by relieving him of his prized possession. A venomous tentacular he's grown from a seedling that was to be the keystone of our business venture. I can't get anywhere near it with Ruth Singer watching me like an augury. Lawley's doing, no doubt. But no one would suspect a student. How would you feel about committing some grand plant larceny?
You said Mr. Lawley was your ex-business partner. What were you working on?
I had an idea to train venomous tentacula, create guard plants, if you will, that attacked when ordered. We hit a snag when one ate Lawley's Kneasel. After that, he cut me out of the business, the short-sighted fiend.
Why do you need Mr. Lawley's venomous tentacula in particular?
Simple. If I have it, then Lawley doesn't. Ergo, I can launch my business, and he must start all over again. I'm killing two snidgets with one stone.
What else is in Mr. Lawley's cellar?
All of Lawley's herbology supplies. He has quite the collection. Fill your pockets while you're there. Or to slow him down for a bit. And I can get my business going minus any competition.
I'll get the venomous tentacula for you.
Marvelous. I know a fellow seeker of justice when I see one. Take as many herbology supplies as you like while you're in his cellar. All I ask is that you bring me the venomous tentacula. Remember, I just need that venomous tentacula.
Seems I need to find Mr. Lawley's cellar. Alohomora. Revelio. Confringo. Revelio. This must be it. Revelio. This must be the cellar. Now, to find that venomous tentacula. Revelio. Better not let Mr. Lawley see me. Alohomora. Where is that venomous tentacula? Many spiders. I wonder if they haven't taken over the whole house. Now that I have the venomous tentacula, I should return to Mr. Barnes.
Any luck retrieving a certain friend of mine from a...
Hello, Mr. Barnes. I have that venomous tentacula.
Wish I could see Lawley's face when he realizes his prized possession is gone. We'll see who's volatile now. Well done. I'll take it off your hands now.
It wasn't as easy to come by as I had expected. I'd like to be paid for my troubles.
Only fair, I suppose. I can respect your business acumen. Here's a little something for your next trip to Zonko's. Thank you again for your help. I suspect you have a bright future.
Revelio. A little more. Revelio. Alohomora. Revelio.
Dick thinks you should be proud of all the potions you've brewed. Dick thinks you've made marvelous improvements here.
Revelio.
Deke thinks you should be proud of all the potions you've brewed. Deke thinks you've made improvements here. Thinks you've made marvelous improvements here. Dick thinks you should be proud of all the potions. Deke thinks you've made marvelous improvements here. Deke thinks you should be proud of
I'll look after you.
Deke thinks you should be proud of all the potions you've brewed. Deke thinks you've made marvelous improvements here.
Mr. Moon, I've learned who's behind the demiguise statues. It was an old schoolmate of yours, Piers Pemberton.
Oh, I might have known. Pigtails Piers.
I don't think he likes being called that.
Of course he does. Oh, he had such flowing locks, and we used to laugh about them. I laughed the hardest of all. Clever, clever man. I'd no idea he was so devious. I must go and congratulate him. Whatever statues remain seem less terrifying now that I know they were put out by old pigtails. Continue collecting them if you like. As for me, I'm gonna go and pay a visit to my old friend.
Sometimes it seems all roads lead to Hogsmeade. Revelio.
Are you ready to put an end to Harlow?
I'm ready to do what's needed to take Harlow down. I know you have a plan.
We must gather information from the friends of Mr. Bickle that Archie and Mrs. Bickle mentioned. Agabus Filbert, Otto Dibble, and Mr. and Mrs. Rabe.
All right.
I suggest that you speak with each of them while I head to the Hog's Head. I saw some Ashwinders heading there. And as my mother would never go near the Hog's Head, she is less likely to learn of my activities than if I were to wander the village questioning its residents.
What sort of information am I trying to gather from these people?
They may know what evidence Mr. Bickle had against Harlow, or they may have evidence of their own. We simply need to know whatever they know.
Where am I to find these friends of his?
I do not know about Mr. Rabe, but his wife, Daisy, is often in Hogsmeade, as is Agabus Filbert. And Otto Dibble, he works at Gladrags, so you will likely find him there.
Very well. I'll speak with them. See what I can learn.
I knew I could rely on you. We need to know how they are being blackmailed by Harlow. Meet me here after you have spoken with them. Hopefully, by the time you return, I will be able to move a bit more freely.
Mrs. Rabe,
Oh, Isco, what have I done?
Mrs. Rabe, I wondered if I might speak with you about Theophilus Harlow. I'm a friend of the Bickles and I'm trying to gather evidence against him.
Poor Joanna and little Archie. And now Harlow has taken my darling Isco.
What do you mean? Why?
I'm a security guard at Gringotts, and my husband is a curse breaker for them. Harlow approached me about helping him extort my colleagues into giving him treasures from the vaults.
And you declined?
Of course I declined. Repeatedly. I thought they'd given up, until I came home one night and found my husband gone, and a note affixed to my door with a knife. The note stated that I only had a few days to reconsider helping with some banking needs, and that my husband would appreciate it if I acted quickly. But the help Harlow wants is help that I cannot give, and my dearest Isco is paying the price.
Are you sure the note means that your husband was kidnapped?
What else could it possibly mean? Besides, I came home to find that someone had trampled the daisies in our garden. It may sound silly, but those were Isco's pride and joy. He would never have let that happen.
Thank you, Mrs. Rabe. Knowing the lengths that Harlow will go to is helpful, albeit more than disturbing.
Mr. Bickle was trying to help us, but now he's gone. I don't know what to do.
I shall do all I can to get evidence against Harlow, Mrs. Rabe.
Very well. Here's the note I received. You must be careful as well. Please don't put yourself in danger.
Some evidence worth hanging on to.
Thank you. I hope it's not too late.
Now to find Mr. Bickle's other two friends. Otto Dibble works at Gladrags. I should check there. Revelio.
Please tell me you didn't take it. But perhaps it's been here all along.
Mr. Dibble, may I speak with you? It's about Theophilus Harlow.
I've nothing to say about him. May I interest you in a stunning cravat today?
Please, sir, I would like to help. I spoke to Mrs. Bickle.
You know the Bickles? All right. But we must be discreet. Can't have Mr. Hill hearing this.
I know Mr. Hill. He was kind to me the day of the troll attack.
Oh, he's a good man. But even he wouldn't understand about Harlow. It started a few weeks ago. I was distracted, reading a note, when you-know-who came into the shop. I hid the note behind the counter and offered to help him. He stared at me for a moment, then asked me to check on an order he'd placed. I went into the storeroom to check on what turned out to be a non-existent order. When I returned, he was holding the note.
What was in the note?
It was a note from Rosie Hill, Mr. Hill's daughter. You see, we've been, secretly engaged these past 6 months. We haven't told Mr. Hill yet. I dare say he has higher hopes for her. Harlow advised me in no uncertain terms that my relationship with Rosie, not to mention my employment here, depended upon my cooperation.
What did he ask you to do?
It all happened so quickly. In an instant, he took a very expensive scarf from the counter, pocketed it, and smiled. He said, "Your secret is safe as long as I can supply my lady friend with delightful items like this every so often." I've been able to cover for his requests until now with some creative bookkeeping, but I can't keep it up for much longer. I'm terrified to say anything. I could never live without Rosie.
Could you give me a bit more detail about the note that might help me to identify it should I come across it?
It's on Rosie's special pink stationery. It has her monogram at the top, RH. That's how Mr. Hill would know it was real.
What have you been doing to keep the extortion a secret?
Well, as I mentioned, creative bookkeeping. And I've also been trying to cover the costs with my own savings, but I'm running out of money. Of course, none of this bodes well for my efforts to improve my circumstances and to be worthy of Rosie.
I met Mr. Hill the day of the troll attack. He was kind to me. Why don't you just tell him?
He's a lovely man. But when it comes to Rosie, I fear he loses all perspective. He'd see this as a grave betrayal. I'd lose my job instantly, and Rosie as well.
Thank you for telling me. I'm gathering evidence to take Harlow down.
I would love nothing more than to see him rotting in Azkaban, but be careful. He's an awful man and incredibly dangerous. As for Rosie's letter, should you happen upon it, I have committed it to memory. You may destroy it immediately.
Understood.
Now hurry off before Mr. Hill returns. Where were I?
We're on the right track. Now to find the last of Mr. Bickle's friends.
What do you think Black Wine...
Ha! Ha! Agabus Filbert must be around here somewhere.
Hello there.
Excuse me, Mr. Filbert. I wondered if I might speak with you about your dealings with Theophilus Harlow. I hope to ease Mrs. Bickle's mind by gathering evidence against him.
Oh, tragic what happened to Bickle. He wanted me to speak out against Harlow for an act of violence committed against me. But I feared Harlow's retaliation, and so I refused.
If you had spoken out against him as Mr. Bickle asked, perhaps Harlow would be locked away by now.
Perhaps. But perhaps I would have suffered a similar fate.
You said that Harlow committed an act of violence against you. Could you tell me what happened?
Before my extraordinary wife, Dulcibella, passed away, she had just completed a small book of poetry. As a surprise for her birthday, one she never had the chance to celebrate, I had the book beautifully bound and plated in gold. One day, Harlow came calling to punish me for having spoken out against the Neanderthals that comprise Rookwood's lot. Before I knew it, I'd been petrified, and Harlow was rifling through my home. He found the book of poetry, with its exquisite gold plating. I watched helplessly, lying there in my entranceway as he walked away with the book, laughing as he went. I was shaken to my core. Still am, to be honest.
I imagine you fear Harlow retaliating again. But do you mind if I share this information with Officer Singer?
I suppose I have no choice. This extortion can't go on forever. You can pass it on to anyone who may be willing to help. Harlow does not like people talking,
Revelio.
as you already know.
I've spoken with Mr. Bickle's friends. Now to find Natty. Alohomora. Revelio.
Plenty for your perusal today. Take your time. Plenty for your perusal today. Take your time.
It's not like Natty to be late. She said she was going to the Hog's Head. Perhaps I'll find her there.
You can stop a thief in their tracks.
Natty must be around here somewhere. Natty's wand. She can cast without it. She wanted me to find this. She's in trouble. Revelio will show me where she was taken.
Nosy little students get what's coming to them.
Revelio. Alohomora. Revelio. Revelio. Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly. Footprints led to this room. There must be another one. A hidden door. Revelio. Natty must have been taken this way. I need to find her quickly. Revelio. I'd better be sure I'm not seen.
Oh, you're wasting your time. I show more affection to a Horklum.
If people don't want me to steal their valuables.
Brockborough's always a treasure trove. Never failed to fill the sacks. That's me.
Revelio.
Girls doing nothing but trouble. About time we locked her up. Somebody out there?
Revelio.
Rookwood will lead us to victory. You mark my words. Be on the lookout for the girl's friend. If they're dark enough to try to come through here.
I don't want to work with goblins. Not now, not ever. Rookwood's gone mad. Well, if you weren't...
Revelio.
Hey.
I used to be stationed near Irondale with Selwyn. Oh, I fancy it's time.
Otto Dibble's love letter from Rosie. He wanted me to destroy this if I found it.
Rookwood will reward us for our loyalty, don't you?
The fog blighted us a bit, I'll agree. Nonetheless, and so should we hold our...
I shall be shining in Rookwood's eyes when he sees what I'm capable of. Can't believe we're forced to work with these goblins.
Revelio.
We should speak to her again. Perhaps she'll tell us where we can find that friend of hers.
She's determined to say nothing. The girl's friend won't come looking for her. Too dangerous. We're wasting our time.
Feldcroft was extraordinarily dark. Does no one put up a good fight?
Did you hear that?
That he must be here somewhere.
That's just the beginning.
That was a mistake. Stop. If it's that cat.
Oh, what's the light come out of your eyes? Expulsion. You'll feel that tomorrow. If you last that long.
Made a great.
What are your thoughts on electricity? Expulsion!
Incendio!
Expulsion! Death from above!
Incendio!
Expulsion!
Crucio!
You may have caused permanent damage to my... Might want to look up. Expulsion!
Revelio. Book of poems that was taken from Agabus Filbert. He'll be thrilled to have this back. Revelio.
You found us. I knew you would realize I had left my wand for you. Speak to Mr. Will.
I need your help.
Mr. Rabe? Daisy told me you'd been abducted.
You spoke with my wife. How is she?
Worried about you. Are you all right?
I am all right. Thank you for coming. These locks are cursed, and there's an anti-apparition jinx on the cells. Even Natty's skill with wandless magic cannot free us. I need you to find my wand.
Use mine. We'll find yours together once you're out of there.
I need my wand for this. Using one with which I have no connection may not work as well or as quickly, and we cannot risk detection.
I shall do my best. Any idea where it might be?
It's nearby. I can sense it.
Understood. I'll find it.
Your friend Natty was not able to summon my wand. It must be blocked by something.
Revelio. Mr. Abe's wand could be in there.
My wand.
Mr. Abe's wand. He'll be glad to have this back. Mr. Abe, I found your wand.
Well done. I knew it was nearby. Now, you best stand back. One never knows how a curse will react to being broken.
Revelio.
Thank you, Mr. Isco.
My pleasure. And thank you, my friend. We owe our lives to your bravery. I may be too weak to disapparate with you both, but I can try.
You go ahead. Find Officer Singer. We will get out of here on our own.
Very well. But be careful. Thank you, my young friends.
Be prepared for a fight. These Ashwinders must pay.
Revelio.
Let's find Officer.
Natsai Onai. I should have known. And you, the troll dispatcher. Oh, thank goodness the two of you are safe. Isco Rabe told me a couple of students had rescued him. Should have known it was you two.
Is Mr. Rabe all right?
He is. I sent him home to his wife. Miss Onai, your mother will not be pleased to learn that you're still risking your safety pursuing these dangerous men.
Actually, Officer Singer, Natty and I learned of several Hogsmeade residents who've had their lives threatened by the Ashwinders. In addition to abducting Mr. Rabe to blackmail his wife and Natty, they've also extorted Agabus Filbert and Otto Dibble.
I will look into all of that. As for the two of you, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you are taking great risk. Next time, please let the authorities handle the Ashwinders.
Yes, officer. Do you have enough evidence to take down Harlow and the rest of Rookwood Slot?
Well, it's certainly a good start. We shall see. But you can leave this to me now. Natsai, you may wish to speak with your mother about this before I do.
My mother will not like this. Thank you again for rescuing me. We shall speak soon.
The Ashwinders have ceased pestering me. I suspect that's your doing. Thank you from me and Rosie both. We're just leaving for our honeymoon, after we tell Mr. Hill of our recent marriage. Wish me luck.
Revelio. Revelio.
Show us. Perhaps some nice flowers will grow from your ashes.
student. I'll give them what they deserve.
Oh, I'm gonna eat your feet.
Incendio!
Ha ha! Time to teach someone a lesson!
Protego!
I'm embarrassed for you.
You in the figure.
My bite is worse than my bark.
The beasts are safer now.
Potato!
Your life is here.
And it's yo there! Stop!
Expulso! What are your thoughts on electricity? Quite conductive, aren't we? Where's your expulso? It's the one who took the goblin out. Expulso! Expulso! You've been expulso! Surprised you're not finding trolls. Death from above!
You are the talk of the school since you saved Mr. Raven Eye from the Ashwinders. We have come so far. We should discuss the next steps in our plan to stop Harlow.
Oh, try. A lamb to the slaughter. You let Laura Treadwell go, didn't you?
What is it, you?
Clumsy little fool!
So very weak.
To get my claws?
Incendio!
It was a bit like
Held your own for a while now, haven't you? What have you done?
That's just Piers!
You dog. Bring gun. That ought to warm you up. Let's see you survive that. After bring down. Bring down. Snitch up the bank. Proud of yourself, are you?
Your poaching days are over.
You should never. You're the one who bring the hard hypocrite. Might want to look up.
Is that the best you got?
Nobody listens. You'll need to be. Notice you ain't wearing that goblin helmet. You. Cost us our ransom. We had that when you showed up, cake flapper. Thought you could hide through the incendio. What are you hiding? What are your thoughts on Are you even trying? Expulso! Plan of inspiration. Expulso! Incendio! Incendio! You're done. Where's your centaur friends, eh? Expulso!
Afraid of a little man?
Who's you, Carl? Oh, my ears. Quite conductive, aren't we? You will not survive this. What's happening? Expulso! Expulso! What have you done? Oh, this is expulso! Look what you've done! You paid for that. Expulso!
Oh, I'm gonna enjoy it.
How dare you do such a thing to me? Death from above!
Petrificus totalis!
My ears! Personal. Take gumption.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
Revelio.
You should be proud of all the potions you've made.
Revelio. Alohomora. Revelio. Alohomora. Revelio.
Thank you for your persistence and cleverness. I confronted Piers about it, and he confessed straight away, the old rascal. We've agreed to let bygones be bygones. Don't forget to say hello the next time you're in the Three Broomsticks. Thrilled to be back there again.
We could pick any point in history and say that's when everything changed. Because things are changing all the time.
Hello, Sophronia. That was quite the quiz you gave me. What are you up to now?
good test of one's knowledge, isn't it? I'm actually working on something equally interesting, but need help from a 5th year, so it's good you came along. Are you familiar with Herodiana Byrne? Don't answer that. Of course you're not. No one seems to know of her but me. She's only the single greatest Depulso master of all time, even taught at Hogwarts, briefly.
How interesting. I'm amazed I've never heard of her.
It's a travesty she's not more well known. I often read about great witches in my limited free time. There are many. Whilst reading about her, I learned that she built a secret Depulso training room here at Hogwarts. But in typical clever Herodiana fashion, one cannot access it unless one knows Depulso, which of course, 3rd years aren't taught.
And you're a 3rd year, so...
Quick one, aren't you? According to what I've read, her signature outfit may still be there. I would love to see it. Would you get Herodiana's signature outfit and show it to me?
How did Herodiana Byrne become famous by casting Depulso?
She once saved orphans from a wild Grafhorn by banishing it over Stonehenge. That's on Salisbury Plain. She once banished a meddlesome dark wizard all the way to Durmstrang while she was in the Alps. That one may have been exaggerated, but lots of the stories about her certainly aren't.
What ended up happening to Herodiana Byrne?
In her later years, she taught at Hogwarts, but only for a short while. Just long enough to build a secret hall, it appears. Then one day, she just disappeared. Some say she actually banished herself. No one knows for sure.
If you tell me where to go, I'll see what I can do about it.
Simply go to the Hall of Herodiana. It's at the base of the Defense Against the Dark Arts Tower. There, you'll find a series of Depulso puzzles concealing pieces of Herodiana's ensemble.
Very well. I shall let you know if I find anything.
I can't wait to see Herodiana's famous ensemble. Perhaps I'll make myself...
Hello, Arthur. Thought you might like to know that my map led to a doorway hidden within a portrait.
Oh, how clever! Mine led to the boathouse. Barely found the treasure before I saw the headmaster coming. He shooed me out of there, but not before I got a few galleons richer. What did you find?
I found what I believe is an authentic historian's uniform.
Oh, that's lucky. Seems as though we both had success. Glad I enlisted you to join me. Well, on to the next Hogwarts history. Wonder if a quick rummage round Weasley's office might yield anything interesting.
It's all about demeanor, really.
Revelio. Alohomora. Professor, do you have time to chat?
I always have time for my students. How may I help you?
I wondered if I might ask how long you've been teaching at Hogwarts.
Well, it's been what now? 7 swift years. Time does fly because we have fun, essential in my opinion. An eager, positive, and confident mind is the most open to knowledge, I find.
Some of the professors may not agree with your approach.
Well, each of us has our own style, I suppose. Some in the teaching field believe that hard work and dedication are the only keys to success. But they forget what drives those things. If one cannot fathom why some would expend energy on gobstones, then one is blind to the enormous power of play.
And that's why you teach the way you do.
Precisely. I strive to be the sort of professor that I would have enjoyed in school. My experience was less cheerful.
Perhaps you wouldn't be who you are without that experience.
Had I received a more traditional education, well, enough about my student days. You are here now, and it would be a shame if you didn't enjoy it.
I'll do my best, Professor. Thank you for the advice.
You are most welcome. Try to have a bit of fun today. Huh?
Revelio.
Come now, Annabelle. It was a long time ago.
Lumos. Revelio. Revelio.
I thought I could count on my friend.
Pardon me. Is everything all right?
No, it's not. We only had 2 bells to go, but she just had to go and spoil things.
I'm afraid I don't follow. Who spoiled things? Also, what bells?
Professor Black ordered Mr. Moon to take down the bells in the bell tower. Said they were giving him a headache. Those bells are a part of Hogwarts. I wasn't about to let that happen. So, I asked my friend Adelaide to help me put them back. We've always been a duo of sorts, Adelaide and Evangeline. Addie and Evie. Anyway, it was going swimmingly until Black started asking questions. Then she wasn't comfortable with our rule breaking. Now I'm stuck, unable to tell which bell goes where.
Is it really that important that the bells go back up?
Is it really that important? They're part of the school's history. Those bells likely told a young Merlin that he was running late to Charms, or called Ignatia Wildsmith to dinner. We can't simply fiddle with history. We're meant to be its stewards.
If only 2 bells are left, isn't it fairly easy to tell which goes where?
Easy for you, perhaps. I happen to be tone deaf. Mother likes to say I couldn't carry a tune if it hopped on my back like a chocolate frog. No point putting them back in if they don't sound just as they did before, for the sake of historical accuracy.
It's certainly an odd decree, even for Black. Taking down the bells for a headache.
I agree. I thought it might also have been that they interrupted his hourly naps. That's all he does in his office, you know. But then I heard... Can you keep a secret?
I can.
I heard from Alice, who heard from Ollie, who heard from Eugenia, that it's because the bells reminded him of his wedding day. Breaks out in a sweat every hour on the hour. But mum's the word.
Perhaps I could help put the bells back up.
Really? Oh, that would be wonderful. The bells are in the bell tower, just above the music room. You're certainly of more help than Adelaide.
I imagine the bells are just inside the bell tower.
Have you found anything to, prove my bravery yet?
Revelio. Alohomora. Revelio. What do we have here? A demiguise.
Well, aren't we the lovely? And
Mine now, demiguise.
Never forget what that Hufflepuff girl said.
Revelio.
Have you found anything to, prove my...
This must be the entrance to the Hall of Herodiana. Can you remind me of our arrangement?
Certainly. I need you to sneak into the hidden herbology corridor and bring back some sort of dangerous plant. Then I'll tell everyone I found it. That should get people to stop calling me Puffskein Dunkeen.
Here it is. The Hall of Herodiana. Better go inside and find those puzzles. Revelio. Now to see if Herodiana Byrne was as good as Sophronia said she was. chest looks interesting. That wasn't too hard. I wonder what's next. Revelio. I'm getting the hang of this now. Just one left. The switch reset everything. Good to know. Revelio. That's the last of them. Seems like this must be the last piece of Herodiana's ensemble. It is remarkable. No wonder Sophronia wanted to see this.
Have you found anything to, prove my bravery yet?
How could you? You would not only lie to me about your house, but you have made a fool of me.
Talk about this? Leave me be.
Revelio.
If it isn't the treasure.
At first, I thought Professor Garlick might be too young to... Well, did you find the Hall of Herodiana?
Sophronia, I solved all the puzzles in the Hall of Herodiana.
Incredible! Then you found Herodiana's outfit. May I see it?
Of course, but not for free. That wasn't easy.
Of course, I'd pay anything. Oh, how grand! You'll look as majestic as Herodiana herself, the greatest Depulso master of all time. You're my second favorite hero!
In my information is a load of rubbish.
Does it get any more cozy than Hogsmeade?
My plan is to have enough galleons.
Ready for a little change in fashion, are we? Plenty to choose from here, so take your time. I suspect you have a sharp eye for fashion. Be sure to stop by whenever you're about. You won't be disappointed. That's a Gladrag's promise. I suspect you have a sharp eye for fashion. Be sure to stop by whenever you're about.
How nice to see you, my young friend.
I have been meaning to speak with you.
I still can't believe we escaped the Ashwinders.
You may not realize it, but you are the talk of the school since you saved me that day.
I wonder how everyone knows about it.
I told my mother in the hope that she would be more forgiving of what I have been up to if it came from me. She likely told other professors, and news travels quickly. Unfortunately, she might, in fact, have been even less forgiving than I'd hoped.
I don't blame her for being concerned. We have been involved in some dangerous activities.
As the Ashwinders were locking me up and threatening my life, it did occur to me that my mother may have been right.
Has Officer Singer done anything with the evidence we provided?
She has not. Harlow is as strong as ever. Someone needs to stop him, whether it is us or Officer Singer. If someone had stopped the monsters like him in Matabeleland, my father would be alive today.
What exactly happened to your father?
It was a beautiful day. My mother had gone to tend to a neighbor who was ill, and so my father and I were galloping in the savannah.
Galloping? Your father was also an animagus, I take it?
He could become the most majestic giraffe, and he would carry me on his back, my arms around his neck. We were on our way home when we surprised a group of bandits who had come from our village. One of them saw me just as he removed a scarf from his face. He shouted and then aimed his rifle.
He didn't want you to identify him.
Exactly. In an instant, my father bowed his neck to protect me and was hit. As he fell, my father changed back into his human form. When the bandits saw this, they turned and ran in fear. Magic terrified them, and then he was gone. And it was all my fault.
Your fault? How so?
He died protecting me. If I had been capable of protecting myself, he would still be alive today. My mother and I tried to go on without him, but it became too much for us there. A few years later, we left to come to Scotland.
Do you think your father would approve of the things we've been doing?
Oh my, that is a good question. In theory, yes. Although he would worry, as my mother does. But I think he, of all people, would understand my persistence. My father never shied away from a fight for good, no matter how ruthless the foe. And I think he would have enjoyed knowing that I had a compatriot like you.
I'm sorry, Natty. I can't imagine what you've been through. Your father sounds exceptional.
He was. Truly extraordinary. And thank you for your kind words. We all have our burdens. My father had a saying about that.
Yes, I remember. Rain does not fall on one roof alone.
Exactly. Soon you and I will put an end to the Ashwinders. Rookwood is already gone. Harlow will be next. We are making progress, and we will succeed. Thank you again for saving me. You deserve all of the praise you have received.
Revelio. 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 Confringo. Revelio. Revelio. I don't think I'm ready for this just yet. Revelio. Revelio. Adelaide Oaks, isn't it? I received your owl.
Yes, I'm Adelaide Oaks. Oh dear. You see, my Uncle Roland is a metal trader who's quite well known in the goblin community. He normally sends me owls every week when he's on his business travels. In his last owl, he alluded to dealings with those radical goblins, Ranrock's loyalists. It's been ages since that owl and I'm worried. What with the troll attack on Hogsmeade and the rumours that goblins may have been involved, well, I'm fearing the worst. Should I be worried about my uncle, or am I overthinking this?
I think you're right to be concerned, Adelaide. Your uncle may be in trouble.
You're much more understanding than Professor Weasley. She heard I was going to look for him and forbade me from leaving the grounds. She's convinced he can handle himself, but I can't concentrate on anything until I know he's all right. Could you try to find out for me? From what I hear, you're almost as adventurous as Uncle Roland.
Has your uncle traded with many goblins?
Yes, for ages. Even speaks gobbledygook. But he only recently mentioned Ranrock's lot, insisting the galleons were worth the risk. He does it for me. Between robes and supplies, attending Hogwarts costs a fair sickle. And besides that, Uncle Roland has expensive taste. He's sacrificed so much for me over the years. I promised him that as soon as I finish Hogwarts, I shall be the one taking care of him.
I'll try and look into it for you, Adelaide.
Thank you. He's very thorough in his record keeping. Notes all his trades in a journal, makes maps. In fact, in his last owl, he drew me a map of his next stop. He'd planned to set up camp north of here. I do hope you're able to find out where he is. Thank you again for any help you can provide.
Oh, Uncle Roland, what have you got yourself into?
I asked to meet Takata.
Wow, you turned out to be something of a hero, didn't you?
Could you remind me how the Daedalian keys work again?
When you spot or hear a flying key, you're to follow it back to its cabinet. Inserting it in the lock is the tricky part. I hope you follow some. If you open a cabinet, I'd love to know what you find, if anything.
Revelio. I hope Adelaide's Uncle Roland is all right. She seems very worried. Adelaide mentioned her uncle's camp may be near Brockborough, past the river.
In today's lesson, we will cover a truly thrilling event. The Goblin Rebellion of 1752 and all its triumphant tragedy. But more specifically, we will address the devastating effect it had on the wizard milling industry. Throughout the many goblin battles, countless wizard cloaks were lost. Actually, we do know the number. 632. But history occurs outside the classroom, and look, it's time for my constitutional. One can practically osmose the history flowing through Hogwarts.
I think the professor wants us to follow him.
And now for a stroll to the bell tower entrance hall. Along with the rest of the castle, it was completed in the early Middle Ages. The hall and the bell towers that loom above it contain myriad interesting artifacts. Good to see you again. Recovered from that nasty bout of dragon pox, have we?
That wasn't me, Professor. I'm new here.
Are you? Well then, welcome. No doubt you're eagerly anticipating my analysis of various wizarding councils, codes, statutes, and of course, goblin rebellions. Not all goblins are rebellious. Some venture into wizarding politics, such as Eargit the Ugly. Some are talented artisans, such as Bragbor the Boastful.
Did you say Bragbor? I know that name. Lodgok said he was an ancestor of Ranrock.
well known for his metalwork. I would imagine much of his goblin wrought iron and silver has survived to this very day. Where were we? Oh yes. Back to our class topic for today. Grimbold Weft. Another notable historical figure. He's right nearby. Curious students can find him on display here in the bell tower entrance hall. Responsible for some of the most important work done in the Goblin Rebellion of
I do so enjoy old stories.
This unassuming smudge is rumoured to be the location of the very first successful use of Bombarda. I suppose successful is a relative term, since whoever cast it didn't live to tell the tale.
In all the centuries that Hogwarts has existed, not once has it collapsed.
What I wouldn't give to be back on a broom right now.
Abandoning class to wander the halls isn't keeping with Professor Binns' manner of teaching.
This Grimbold sounds like a helpful fellow. What a hero.
Oh yes, I see you found Grimbold Weft.
Yes, I rather enjoyed seeking him out.
The thrill of the scholarly pursuit. I know the feeling quite well. Now, let's turn our attention to the agreeability and general good nature of Sir Aphbuttle. He's also nearby. See what you can learn from him for your next assignment. Standing in eternal but symbolic watch over the bell tower is a retinue of loyal knights, or rather, statues of knights.
Revelio.
Clarify. Keen-eyed students will spot the statue of Sir Aphbuttle of the cheerful countenance nestled among the ranks. Where his warm and approachable demeanor was celebrated.
Professor Binns, I found the statue of Sir Aphbuttle.
Ah, well done. Alas, Sir Aphbuttle's affability was his undoing. Died instantly trying to befriend a basilisk. Eye contact is not always to be encouraged. So beloved was he that even some goblins mourned his passing. Of course, that did not bode well with the rest of the goblins, most of whom could not abide mourning the loss of a wizard.
Pity goblins and wizards can't get along.
True. But imagine how dull my lectures would be without goblin rebellions to discuss. History does tend to repeat. It is a series of patterns, a thought both comforting and disconcerting. The wise students, such as yourself, will learn from it. History is written by those who do their schoolwork, so they say.
Revelio.
Or at least, I like to say that.
How can we do so much and accomplish so little?